This is the AEW Collision March 16, 2024 full show results video which takes place at the Canadian Tire Centre in Ottawa, Ontario. The show started with a match between Bryan Danielson vs Katsuyori Shibata, and the result of this match was Bryan Danielson defeated Katsuyori Shibata by pinfall when Danielson nearly got the label lock but Shibata rolled him over, then Bryan rolled through that though, and managed to keep Shibata down for the 3 count. Danielson points to Shibata across the ring after the match and extends his hand, they shake and then hug, a standing ovation for both of them. The next match happened between Julia Hart vs Trish Adora for the TBS Championship, and the result of this match was Julia Hart defeated Trish Adora by pinfall when Hart worked her over with kicks, went on the top rope, hit the moonsault and retained the TBS Championship. Lexi Nair is in the back with Zack Knight and Harley Cameron, and Knight says he'll fight Parker but he's not doing it in Canada. So that match is now not happening. Cameron wonders if Canada has anything to offer other than poutine, ice, and maple syrup. The next match happened between Daniel Garcia vs Lee Moriarty, and the result of this match was Daniel Garcia defeated Lee Moriarty by submission when Garcia got the leg lock and Moriarty had no choice but to tap. The next match happened between Pac vs Aaron Solo, and the result of this match was Pac defeated Aaron Solo by submission with the Black Arrow. He grabs a microphone and breathes into it before saying, "Tony, I told ya, the bastard is back and I am looking for trouble. But, you see, this is not exactly what I had in mind, so I'll say this again, Tony Khan, I am looking for trouble, so find me some, or I will find it myself." Bryan Danielson is meditating backstage, he talks about gratitude and he's thankful he was able to wrestle Shibata tonight. They were told years ago they would never be able to wrestle again, but here they are, and they fought like hell, and he doesn't know who he has to thank for that, but thank you. He's also grateful for his match against Will Ospreay coming up, and he watched what Will said at Dynamite, how he said Will has watched him and tried to emulate him. He heard that when he gets in the ring it's live or die, and he doesn't plan on dying just yet. What that tells Bryan is that Ospreay has followed him and emulated him, but he can't walk in his shoes. He's been told he would never wrestle again and he's been on death's door, so Will can say what he wants about what he's willing to do because Danielson knows what he's willing to do, and I don't think you're ready for that yet. The next match happened between Claudio Castagnoli vs Lance Archer, and the result of this match was Claudio Castagnoli won the match by disqualification when the Righteous attacked Claudio in the running match. Claudio starts getting beat down and Bryan Danielson quickly hits the ring to help out. He, too, gets taken down, so Shibata hits the ring with a chair and that sends the heels scampering off and Claudio and Danielson shaking hands with Shibata and thank him for the assistance. Lexi backstage talking to Ruby Soho and Cool Hand Angelo Parker, and he says he doesn't know what to say right now. This is his second home and he was ready for a fight, and Ruby tells him to relax, but Parker refuses to calm down. She says he's being baited and if he goes looking for a fight he'll have to do it without her, and he's distraught about that but quickly apologizes and says he'll leave it alone for tonight, and they walk off. The next match happened between Kyle O'Reilly vs Brian Keith, and the result of this match was Kyle O'Reilly defeated Brian Keith by submission when Kyle hit the brainbuster and then stepped over and locked in the armbar. The Undisputed Kingdom hit the ring to celebrate with him, with Roderick Strong giving him a big hug. The others put him up on their shoulders and he smiles big. Lexi backstage talking to Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo, and they're scheduled to face Toni Storm and Mariah May next week, but they've never teamed before. Deonna stops her and says they may have never been a team but they've fought each other, so she trusts Rosa. Toni tapped out, she says, and she should be standing there as champion, and Rosa brings up that she never lost the title. But if the ladies want drama they'll give it to them. Next week they stop all the games and all the jokes, and it's time to handle business. The next match happened between the House of Black vs the Infantry, and the result of this match was the Infantry defeated the House of Black by pinfall when Mark Briscoe showed up and threw a chair at Buddy's head, and he ran over to King, who chases him out in the crowd, and back in the ring, Dean manages to get an arm over Matthews and they count him down. Malachi Black hits the ring piping mad about what just happened, and he stares down Briscoe, who is still up in the stands. In the main event, Adam Copeland comes into the ring and he says it's fitting this Wednesday that he's gonna be facing a guy that he thought was his best friend. He calls him Christian Cage because he refuses to call him Jay anymore because Jay is dead. He assumed they would always be friends, sitting on his deck and talking about all the awesome things they did in their careers together, but he has to fast forward to now. They talked about Copeland coming to AEW to end his career together, and he didn't come here to take anything away from Cage. He opens the case he brought with him and shows us Spike, something he was inspired to do by Mrs. Foley's baby boy. He promises to put Cage in the hospital. Spike and I are going to change you, man. He promises to take away his manhood, and he's going to make him say 2 words that are going to make him never be able to look his daughters in the eyes again, and those 2 words are, I quit, and the show goes off the air.